It's a really exciting year this year for Call the Midwife. We go into the 60s, we're in 61, going into 62 now. So you get a sense of the East End of London changing and the fashions changing and the music changing.
And we're starting to see sort of the architecture of London's changing. It's not so post-Blitz, it's more modern skyscrapers, things like that.
I love it, 1961, and I'm hoping that other people will in the same way. It was the first time I came back to the UK, having been abroad in 1961 as a child. And so 1961 is the first time I remember all of the things that are going on at that time, you know. People, the first kind of going into space, art changing, music changing.
The 60s was different. People began to do things differently and began to think that maybe the way you choose to live your life you won't be condemned for.
What one realises, there are still huge issues. People are very bigoted. There are social values that needed to be changed. There were views about immigration then, just as we have today, which were difficult. And women. We take for granted today that women in society have their place and are free to do everything. They're not entirely equal, but certainly, you know, 61, we still look at the single mother who's completely condemned.
Yes, absolutely.
The aspect of the 60s I would most like to see in Call the Midwife is I would love the girls to go to the Troubadour Club and see Bob Dylan live.
The Beatles?
Yes.
We've got to have Love, Love Me Do, haven't we?
Oh, that would be
Soon.
brilliant. The Beatles are on their way, so I think that might, you know, the Merseybeat sound, the guitar bands, that's going to change our soundtrack a little bit. Costumes constantly morph and change, which isn't really my department. But I do actually think we could get an entire episode out of tights, because tights are coming, and Trixie and pantyhose. I mean, it's a feature-length episode waiting to happen, isn't it? So I'm dying for tights.
The miniskirt. I don't think we're quite there yet, because I think they came into fashion towards the end of the 60s.
Songs
When
of that
will the
time.
mini skirts come in then? Later on?
They're a little bit later. We don't get our habits up anymore yet. They just remain where they are.
And also those lashes that Twiggy used to do, the lashes that come down here. I can't wait for that to happen.